questions?
Andy, were 53 free throw attempts part of your strategy for tonight?
Well, we've really made this game better, haven't we? Wasn't that fun to watch? That was awesome, man.
Yeah.
I think all of you ought to send them all a congratulatory email. They changed it for the good. Free flowing, exciting. It's awesome.
I take it you were frustrated with pace of play and all the calls and.
You know what, I'm more frustrated with the Ole Miss Rebels. That's who I'm frustrated with. I know we practice. Got the video evidence in case you want to see it. Thank you. And I just wish we had better carryover. I wish our attention to detail was better. I wish our energy was better. I wish our focus was better. I wish we were tougher. I wish we made athletic plays at the rim. I wish we made open shots. I wish we ran offense. I wish we guarded.
Andy,
Good kids, though. Great kids.
how much of that?
Had 1,000 APR last year, almost a 3-0. Great kids.
53 free throws. I mean, how much of that is that you guys attacking to see kind of how they're going to call the game now?
Well, we have really struggled shooting the ball.
Yeah.
You know, I said this the other day, I've got a drill, and I've done it every year that I've been here, and this team has performed better in it. And it's a hard drill, and I do it throughout the course of practice, and I put adversity in them, because sometimes I don't want them to make it if I want to punish them with running, what have you, from a conditioning standpoint. And this group has made that drill, I'm telling you, at least 90% of the time. And yet we get into games. It's the reason you play the games, though. Coach Bartow, God rest his soul, used to say, Lord, when the popcorn's popping, that's when you start separating players. And when that popcorn's popping, I guess we still serve popcorn here, don't we? Do we?
Sure there is.
It's pre-popped.
Somewhere. Well, we need to pop it later, because for whatever reason, we were 8 for 26, I think, from 3, give or take, and today we're 2 for 14, so my math's not great, but that ain't no good, as Randy would say. That's 10 for 40. Louisville education right there is fine, it's 25%, ain't no good. So, you gotta drive it. When you can't make it open, when you gotta drive it. And what we've done, we've played 2 teams, it wasn't by design. Northwestern State led the nation in offense. They led the nation in the poorest defensive efficiency as well. They mix and match, and they play a bunch of switching stuff. And Georgia Southern, I didn't know this, but Georgia Southern did the same thing. So you can't run typical offense because everything's a switch. Sebas has 24 and 17. You know why? Because when we ran a pin down with Sebas, they switched on it. So Sebas a lot of times had their point guard or their 2 guard on him. So we just threw it to him, and you know, he's 8 for 14 and 8 for 11, had a pretty good night. I'm mad at the 6 he missed, because he's got a 6'2" guy that was in the Sun Belt on scholarship. And you're in the SEC on scholarship, you're 6'9".
Did Stefan just pass up some shots, some three-point shots, or it looked like he was attacking more often?
Yeah, he's pretty good at it when he can get ahead of steam. And again, I think there was a little confusion, and we couldn't run the normal actions because of those switches. So he just kind of put his head down. He was 1 for 5, and Moody's been around long enough to know. There's some guys when they go 1 for 5, they got to go shoot another 5. We had a couple of those in his program, but he doesn't have to do that. He can drive that thing. He's athletic, and again, if they're going to stay true to these rules and how they're going to call them, and I think they've been pretty true to them on both ends, and we're going to try to play to what we believe our strength is at the time, and today it just happened to be driving the ball.
6 misses notwithstanding, Sebas has got back-to-back double-doubles, still was, pretty efficient around the rim. Is his offensive game improved? I mean, it looks like he's finishing better than he has before.
Yeah, if we can get those point guards to switch on him. We'll keep throwing it in there. We're going to find out, and it's the reason you do these tournaments. We play quick turn. We play George Mason. One of my staff said they got beat today, so they're 0-2. We played them on Thursday. I don't know anything about them. I'll get into that immediately. And then, there's Oklahoma State looming ahead. There's potentially Virginia or Seton Hall. I mean, there's guys that are recruited at the same level as our guys are recruiting, and that's where I want to see if we can get some carryover and play to our strength, which obviously is trying to get Moody angles, and we're going to play through Sebas inside because he has been efficient.
You think Saius is more comfortable now as an offensive focal point? He's been kind of a role player the last couple of years. Do you think at least mentally he gets it?
Yeah, and not even as much as I want. I want him to demand it more. The one thing that he's gotten a little stronger in his base so he can hold position, and he's gotten where he can post to his size. He's a big frame kid. I mean, he's 6'9" and 240 some odd pounds, and he's got a 7'6" wingspan. So we're just trying to get it to him where he can play to his strength, wide base, play over the top of people. And I thought we did a really good job early in that. Kind of got away from it a little bit. This game had an odd flow to me, a lot like Northwestern State, where I thought out of the gate, our energy was really good, we were locked in. We get into our bench a little bit, they make a run, you know, they get it to 3 or 4 in the first half, and then we spurt, we're up 11. So it was as if that you're never really threatened, but you're never really comfortable either. And both of our games have kind of played like that. And, we hadn't had much production out of guys really other than Sebas and Mooney. You know, Sam plays a lot of minutes, and he makes some free throws, made some plays, and I thought Newby was back to being Newby today with 9 big rebounds in 29 minutes. But we're certainly a work in progress.
Are you surprised that Tomas hasn't gotten off to a faster start in 2 games?
I am a little bit surprised. He and AP both. I really thought, you guys remember, I really thought in preseason it was going to be one of the strengths of our team, and it's going to have to be, quite frankly, because we need a second and a third scoring option. Obviously, Moody's going to be option 1 and 1A, but everybody in the country knows that, so they're going to game plan accordingly. We now have a guy in Sebas we can throw it close to, but a lot of our actions, once we're able to play someone who plays a little more standard and is not as junky defensively, and we have, you know, we scored 90 and 82, and we shot 36% from the field tonight, and again, we're shooting 25% from 3, so we're still scoring at a high volume based on pace of play and just so happens to be the first 2 opponents. So some of that stuff will change, but we've got to get production out of that 4 spot because I think both of those guys are capable of helping us offensively. And to this point, they've just struggled.
With Sebas, Murph came the closest, but he was undersized as a post. I mean, is he the closest thing now that he's starting to get more offensively equipped that you've had to do anything?
Yeah,
To be able to throw him down?
Yeah, without question. Sebas is the best guy as it relates to block, back to the basket presence that we've had in my time.
Sam Finley, just 1 assist tonight. I mean, what's your assessment of him through 2 games?
It's funny you said that. I brought that to his attention as well. He's now played 28 and 35. I'm really testing my math. 63 minutes, and he's got 2 assists on the year. It's typically not what you want out of your point guard. We need him to be able to get the ball, but it's hard to get an assist when you miss a bunch of shots. You know, I think a couple of times he was getting the ball to people and we were struggling to make shots. I even think the 20 field goals we made, many of them were off second chance points or just we put my head down and drive it in there and hope something good happens.
Anything else? Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.